Exposed. The sinister secrets of Afghanistan's cursed caves, a spine-chilling CIA operation. Anna's heart raced as she trudged through the darkened streets, shadows twisting like fingers reaching for her. The moonlight offered little peace, every crackle of a twig or rush of wind pulling at her, whispering the rumors she'd heard at the hospital. Families vanishing. A neighborhood once alive with laughter now sat slumped in fearful silence. What had happened to the joy of their suburban life? Each eerie glance from her neighbors sent electric chills racing up her spine, turning her instincts hyper-alert. Out there, something sinister lurked just beyond sight. "Mama, I'm scared," came the soft voice of her daughter Mia, clutching Anna's hand tightly. "Can we hurry home?" Her innocence pierced through Anna's gathering dread. The shadows seemed to twist and reach, turning this once familiar path into an ominous gauntlet. Was it just fear that distorted her perception, or was there something truly lurking in the darkness, poised to strike? Just last night she overheard a couple of nurses huddled in a corner, their voices low and shaky. "Just gone," one whispered, like they never existed. No signs, no struggles. Poof! Those chilling words clung to her thoughts like a dark fog. The vanishing families haunted her every moment, twisting the very air she breathed until her chest grew tight, heavy. Before she could shake off the grim thoughts, her phone buzzed to life, but the sound made her jump. Distraction came like an unwelcome ghost. "Before we continue," the notification read in an upbeat tone, "I need to tell you something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to their system and many people are missing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and select all notifications so you don't miss future videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." All that dread crashed back upon her now, shivering in the moments of false security. She tightened her grip around Mia's fingers, pushing away the coldness that crept in around her thoughts like icy fingers. Suddenly, amid her racing thoughts, an envelope lay waiting by their front door, a startling sight against the stark gray of the porch. Anna hesitated, dread knotting in her stomach as she picked it up, feeling its weight. Inside were pages marked with classified headings about a CIA operation tied to Afghanistan's cursed caves. A shiver skittered down her spine as she read the words, "Evil force that preys upon the vulnerable." Panic twisted through her. What could this possibly mean for her and Mia? Emerging from her grim musings, her heart seized as she caught sight of Mr. Langdon, their neighbor, standing disturbingly close, wearing that same disarmingly friendly smile. But there was something behind his eyes, something dark, ruthless. The man seemed to carefully navigate the conversation, but every word dripped with a predatory instinct that sent waves of fear crashing against Anna's already fragile calm. "Mia, sweetie, let us go inside," she urged, voice tremoring slightly, but they were too late. Out of the corner of her eye, there was a flicker of movement among the trees. A child. A glimpse of familiar features, yet eerily different. Did they have Mia? Panic swelled, shooting up her chest. Her own heartbeat thundered in her ears as she locked eyes with Mr. Langdon. The sinister unease solidified. What began as a haunted night deepened into a night filled with unfathomable dread. As they turned to flee home, shadows loomed larger, making even the warm glow of the streetlights seem tainted. Who could she trust in a world where even neighbors could hide monstrous truths? Anna felt the air grow heavier, clutches of darkness tightening around her, pushing her toward a terrifying realization: the safety of her child was now hanging by a fraying thread, and obscure dangers loomed just ahead. The door creaked as Anna and Mia slipped inside, the lock clicking shut with a sound that echoed in the stillness. Darkness wrapped around them like a suffocating blanket, the air thick and heavy. Mia squeezed her mother's hand tighter, her small fingers trembling. "Mommy, what's wrong? Why are you so scared?" she asked, her voice small and vulnerable against the silence. Anna forced a smile, but it felt brittle on her lips. "Nothing, love. Just tired. Let us keep the lights on tonight." She flicked the switch, bathing the room in a harsh, fluorescent glow. Shadows retreated from the corners, But Anna knew they were still lurking, waiting. The memory of that envelope pressed heavily on her mind. Was something evil truly intertwining with their lives? No news is good news, right? And yet the neighborhood felt like a ghost town. Anna's instinct screamed that she should call someone, anyone. But who would believe her? Who would not think her paranoid? Mia's soft whimper pulled her back. Can't we just go to bed? Just a little longer, Anna whispered, dropping to her knees, meeting her daughter's gaze. Can you promise me something? No matter what you see or hear, you stay right by my side, okay? Always. Mia nodded solemnly, her brows knitting. I promise. The words settled around them, almost comforting. But outside, an unsettling rustle made Anna's heart jump. A shadow darted past the window. It wasn't a trick of the light. Her breath froze, and she moved silently to the window, peeking through the curtains. She saw Mr. Langdon again, but this time he was not alone. Other faces, familiar yet distorted, gathered under the streetlight. They stood there like remnants of a nightmare, whispering and pointing, eyes glinting with something unnatural. Heart racing, Anna pulled back, panic flooding her system. How long had they been watching? Were they part of the disappearances? Mia, Anna said in a low tone, urgency slicing through her fear. Get under the table and don't come out for anything. Not even for me. The little girl's eyes widened, fear etched on her delicate features, but Anna's voice was firm. Mia slipped beneath the kitchen table, her breath hitching. Anna waited, listening intently. The whispers outside grew louder, jarring her thoughts. She steadied herself as she grabbed a kitchen knife, feeling its weight, the cool metal a paltry shield against what lay beyond. Suddenly, a loud bang jolted her, followed by heavy footsteps. The front door shuddered, echoes of the unsettling murmurs slinking through the cracks. With each shudder of the wood, Anna's heart thundered harder against her ribcage. Mama! Mia cried from beneath the table, eyes wide with fear. What is happening? Shh! Stay quiet, Anna hissed, holding the knife tightly, listening as the footsteps surrounded the house. They were moving in circles, tracing back and forth. It felt like a twisted game, taunting them. Tired of hiding? A smooth, sinister voice called from outside, sending black tendrils of dread curling around Anna's spine. We're just here to help. The word dripped with malice. Anna's eyes widened. Whether they had the intent to aid or harm was anyone's guess. There was no help from shadows, but what came next shattered the stillness. There was a loud crash from the back door. Panic ignited, Anna's grip tightened on the knife. Mia, no matter what happens, don't move, she warned, as she stood on the edge of decisive action. Just then, Anna heard something unnatural, the faint sound of laughter mingling with the whispering wind. It wasn't her daughter's laughter. It was the laughter of the missing. It rolled through the darkness, echoing memories but layered with something insidious, as if their voices merged into a dreadful symphony. Who were they really? With each breath, the shadows encroached, the danger sharpening. Would she be strong enough to protect Mia from the nightmare? As the door splintered under the pressure from outside, Anna braced for the inevitable. Something terrible was about to get in. The door groaned under the weight of unseen force, splinters flying like confetti in a nightmarish celebration. Anna flinched, gripping the knife with white-knuckled determination, her heart pounding in her chest like a trapped animal. Mama! Mia's voice quivered, barely a whisper. Stay down! Anna hissed, her voice sharp and urgent. The shadows at the edges of the room seemed to thicken, lapping at her heels like dark waves. She was fighting the tide, and she could feel it pulling her under. The heavy thud of footsteps echoed through the house. They were inside now. The whispers grew louder, intertwining with the footsteps, filling the air with chilling cadence. Help us! They beckoned, over and over, treading dangerously close to madness. Anna's mind raced. They were using Mia's innocence, their soft voices a manipulation wrapped in honeyed malice. Did they want her daughter? Or were they simply here to break Anna's resolve? Who are you? What do you want? She shouted, her voice ricocheting off the walls, the fear thick on her tongue. The response was a low, mocking laughter, sending a surge of icy dread coursing through Anna's veins. You know us, Anna, we're your neighbors, your friends. We just want the best for you. We want to help. Help? The word turned sour in her mouth. Something inside Anna snapped. She wouldn't allow them to twist her thoughts. She would protect Mia. A crash echoed from the living room as something else broke through a long, shadowy figure, just beyond her line of sight. Heart racing, she motioned for Mia to stay silent, and glanced towards the hallway, stubbornly refusing to yield to fear. Suddenly, the lights flickered and died. Darkness closed in, swallowing even the feeble glow from the streetlight outside. She felt the panic rise like bile in her throat. All she had was the knife, and now nothing but the unknown waited ahead. Mama! Mia's voice rose, panicked. Stay under the table, Anna commanded, forcing her way deeper into the shadow-haze gloom. Footsteps came closer, a scuffling accompanied by the dreadful chorus outside. She could feel them true now. The whispers grew into a soft chant, rhythmic and sinister, pulling at the edges of her sanity. Join us. Join us. She pressed her back against the cool wall, breath held. Then, from the kitchen, a familiar soft whimper rose, a sound that sent a wrenching fear through her core. Mama! I see them. Anna turned, heart stopping. What? Who do you see? Stay put. Mama, they're here, they're watching me. The terror in Mia's voice sent shards of ice through Anna's heart. Just then, a crash, something muscular tore through the hallway. The shadows erupted, formed into shapes that were human but distorted, eyes glimmering in the dark like shards of glass. They were nearing, surging forward, as if drawn by the promise of a feast. Mia! Anna screamed, darting toward the table, knife poised. She had to fight. A mother would do anything to protect her child. The kitchen became a battlefield, shadows writhing, coiling toward her. The door to the kitchen swung ominously, revealing a gaunt figure with hollow eyes and a grin that stretched too wide, a grotesque parody of a human face, something from a child's nightmare. Come play with us, Anna, it crooned, the voice sickeningly sweet. No! She shouted defiantly. Suddenly, the lights burst back to life, revealing half-formed faces, twisted in their laughter, eyes filled with a malevolence that made her blood run cold. Anna steeled herself, heart pounding, gasping for breath. She had to stand her ground. Would she cut through this monstrous curtain tonight? And as the shadow lunged forward, the room trembled with anticipation. The question filled her mind like poison. Was it too late to escape the nightmare? In that moment of chaos, a chilling thought crept in. What if the true terror was not outside their home at all? What if it was something much closer, something from within? The shadow lunged, and Anna's instincts kicked in. She swung the knife wildly, but it sliced through air. The figure darted back, cackling with a sound that scraped against her nerves like nails on chalkboard. Desperate, Anna backed away, her eyes darting around for any sign of Mia. Mama! Mia's voice trembled from beneath the table, a tiny beacon of hope in the encroaching darkness. But the laughter grew louder, warped and multiplied as more shapes emerged, sliding from the corners like oil seeping onto a canvas. They were everywhere now, shadows merged into figures wearing the faces of those she once knew. Her neighbors. Friends. Smiling in life, twisted in death. Mia! She breathed. Panic clawed in her throat. She couldn't lose her daughter. Get ready to run. The kitchen light flickered again, casting monstrous shadows that danced like madmen. Mommy, help us, please! A small voice echoed from the mass. It was a child's voice, one she recognized, but made her heart turn to stone. Let her go! Anna screamed, gripping the knife tighter. Her knuckles whitened with the pressure, her muscles quivering. She couldn't surrender. She wouldn't allow them to take Mia. The figures shifted, retreating momentarily as if evaluating her, testing her strength. It was a game to them, an unholy amusement. You could join us, Anna. It's not too late, they whispered, their voices harmonizing in a ghastly choir. Concessions clawed at her heart, tempting her with images of tranquility and peace, a smile from her little girl. In that instant, a surge of clarity crashed over her. "No! You don't have any power over me!" Anna shouted, her voice trembling but resolute. They paused, surprise casting flickers of doubt on their contorted faces, the dark collective silence heavy with the weight of her defiance. She took a step back, drawing closer to her daughter. Just then, a flash of light illuminated the room again, revealing their true forms, bodies rotted and twisted, skin hanging loosely over skeletal frames. They were dead. They didn't belong here. "Mia, hold on tight." With fierce determination, Anna rushed towards the table, her knife raised like a shield. Shadows reached for her, fingers attempting to ensnare her, but she cut through the oppressive light. The figures recoiled, screeching in frustration. The floor trembled beneath them, the very foundation split under the clash of light and dark. "Mama! I'm scared," Mia called, tiny hiccups punctuating her words. Anna bent low, reaching her daughter's hand beneath the table, squeezing it like a lifeline. "We're getting out of here. Now!" As she pulled Mia from her hiding spot, cold fingers brushed against Anna's arm, lingering like a deathly touch. She spun around, feeling the dread creep closer. The figures were reforming, reconstituting their shared malevolence, fueled by their anger. "Join us, Anna! You can't run from the truth!" They screeched, voices rising in a horrible crescendo, an echo of her own fears laid bare. "Mama, they're lying! Please!" Mia cried, terror coloring her voice. "Run!" Anna yelled, shoving Mia toward the hallway. She pursued, heart racing, eyes darting back to the swirling shadows encroaching upon them. Fear surged through her like a thunderclap. The hallway stretched endlessly, an impossible path. Could she reach the front door? Behind her, the wails intensified, a cacophony of lost souls shrieking for release. "You can't escape. You will be one of us." Adrenaline fueled her legs, but the door felt farther away than ever. Was it just a trick of the mind? Or a tightening grip of despair? As they reached the threshold, something cold brushed against her ankle. She looked down, freezing in horror. A small, skeletal hand, ghostly and translucent, reached out toward them from the shadows. "Mama!" Mia's scream echoed as terror mirrored Anna's own. The shadows surged forward, a wave of malevolent rage, and in that split second, Anna realized. The truth lurked in the dark, hidden beneath layers of horror. They wanted more than to frighten her. They intended to drag her into their world. "Mia, hold on!" With a burst of energy, Anna hurtled through the door, wrenching it open just as the shadows dashed after them. The night air hit her like ice, filled with a terror unlike anything she'd ever felt. But they were still coming. "Get in the car!" she shouted, pushing Mia ahead, heart racing as she felt the frigid presence behind her. Could they make it? Could they escape this nightmare? And as the door slammed shut behind her, the whispers faded into the night, leaving a chilling statement hanging in the air. "We'll be waiting." But what would she do when they returned? The car roared to life, the engine a desperate growl in the darkness. Anna's fingers trembled against the steering wheel, adrenaline coursing through her veins like wildfire. She shot a glance at Mia, who was wide-eyed, breathing heavily, and clutching her stuffed bear as if it were a lifeline. "Are they behind us?" Mia whispered, her voice barely rising above the engine's rumble. "I don't know, baby." "Stay low," Anna snapped, glancing at the rearview mirror, half expecting to see the shadowy figures creeping up behind them. But all she saw was the oppressive darkness of the night, an endless sea of black. She hit the accelerator, the car jolting forward as they sped down the driveway. Each bump was a reminder that they were alive, but her heart pounded like a war drum, racing against the unrelenting fear. They had to get far away from the house, from those things. "Mama, I want to go home." Mia's voice cracked, tears streaking down her cheeks. "Home isn't safe anymore. We have to find somewhere else." Anna's voice shook, firm yet strained. Desperation clawed at her throat. She had to keep it together for Mia. The road was empty, the the stars hidden behind a veil of clouds. Suddenly, the car lights flickered. No, no, no! Panic surged as she mashed the gas pedal, the engine sputtering ominously. The shadows in her mind whispered cruel intentions, taunting her with their eerie promises. She couldn't let them in. Not now. Mama, I'm scared. Mia whimpered, and Anna forced herself to focus. We'll be okay, honey. Just hold on tight. The headlights caught a figure standing by the roadside. It was a woman, hair wild, clothes tattered, arms outstretched as if beckoning them. Anna's heart dropped. What if it was another shadow masquerading as a person? Don't look at her, Mia! She yelled, swerving to avoid the apparition. The tires skidded as she fought to keep control. The car wobbled but stayed on course, the grip of horror tightening around Anna's heart. She glanced in the mirror. The woman was gone, but the shadows had returned. They flickered like flames, dragging her back to that accursed kitchen. Keep driving! She shouted, the words bursting from her lips as she dodged down the road. The trees loomed like giants, their twisted branches reaching for her, grappling with the car like desperate hands. With a sudden jolt, the engine backfired. The car lurched and sputtered, losing power. No! Anna cried, her voice a broken chord. Slowing down felt like entering the jaws of some unfathomable abyss. Mama? Mia whimpered again, her fear palpable. Stay in your seat. Anna can't let failure seep in, not when they were so close to freedom. She cranked the wheel, guiding the car into an old gas station that loomed ahead, its fluorescent lights flickering like dying stars. She parked and jumped out, scanning the area as she shoved the doors shut with a clang. Mama, what are we doing? Mia was still buckled in, dread curling in her small frame. Stay put. I'll be right back. Anna glanced back at the car. Shadows swirled like smoke, lingering by the rear windshield. She rushed towards the building, heart thundering. The door creaked open and a chilling wind skittered inside, bringing with it a stench of decay. As her eyes adjusted to the dimness, images of past customers filled the walls, faces twisted in surprise and horror, as if they had witnessed something unspeakable. Mia! She yelled, turning to bolt back, but the doors slammed shut with a deafening bang. Help! She screamed, pounding against the wood, the sound echoing eerily. Mama! Mia shouted from inside the car, her voice a knife twisting Anna's gut. And in that moment the shadows returned. They seeped in through cracks, encircling her. The same faces invaded her mind, twisted and sorrowful, urging her to surrender. Join us, it's not too late. Their whispers slithered against her skin. Somewhere in the chaos, a siren wailed. Was it help? Or another trap? Anna's heart raced as she clawed at the door, desperation fueling her strength. Would she give in to the shadows pulling her down, or could she break free? For her daughter? Shadows twisted and lurked, ready to devour. Before she could think, she kicked the door, and it splintered wide open, sending her crashing into the night. But as Anna stumbled back toward the car, she froze. The figures were there in the shadows, waiting, hunger glimmers in their dead eyes. Could she fight them, or would they take everything she had left? As the whispers grew louder and the night swallowed her whole, Anna realized she stood at the edge of a darkness deeper than she could comprehend. What choice would she have to make next? The air felt thicker than before, a heavy cloak strangling Anna's chest. She stumbled backward, her heart racing. The shadows loomed ever closer, predatory, eyes glinting with an insatiable hunger. Mia! She screamed, her voice raw, desperate. The urgency clawed at her throat as she turned back, fleeting memories of warmth and laughter merging with the terror enveloping her. Mama! Please! Mia's cries were heart-wrenching. Every syllable sent shockwaves through Anna's body, electrifying her with panic. Time blurred, stretching painfully, and with it, every breath felt like a dull weight pressing down on her. The cursed figures, faceless and shrouded in darkness, closed the distance. The whispers grew in intensity, a cacophony that seeped into her very soul. We can help you, join us. No! Anna shouted, shaking her head fiercely. She couldn't give in, not now, not ever. She had to protect Mia, to shield her from this evil that wanted nothing more than to consume them both. Yanking on the car door, she scrambled inside, her fingers fumbling with the seatbelt. "We have to go," she gasped, her eyes darting to the shadows encircling the vehicle. The whispers outside escalated to a screech, a dissonant chorus that clawed at her sanity. "Mama, I'm scared," Mia wailed, clinging to her bear, tears streaming down her cheeks. That sound, that innocent plea, pierced through the chaos. Anna turned to her, forcing a shaky smile, hoping to mask her own fear. "Me too, baby, but I won't let them take us." With trembling hands, Anna turned the key in the ignition. The engine sputtered before roaring back to life, a defiant growl against the encroaching darkness. The lights illuminated the shadowy forms, if only for a moment, revealing faces twisted in anguish. They seemed to urge her, desperate to draw her into their tormenting embrace. "Go, go, go!" she shouted, slamming the gear into reverse before thrusting it into drive. The tires screeched against the pavement, propelling them into the night, the gas station receding into a dark memory. But the shadows didn't relent. They chased after her, relentless. The car bucked and swerved under the weight of Anna's terror. They whipped around them like phantoms, encircling the vehicle, cackles echoing with each jolt. It was as if they could sense her fear and were feeding off it, growing stronger with each terrified heartbeat. "Mama, they're coming!" Mia screamed, pointing at the swirling vortex of gloom outside her window. It was a horror show, figures leaping from the corners of her vision, morphing and reshaping as they sought to break her resolve. "Hold on!" Anna shouted again, determination flooding her system like a drug. She swerved onto an overgrown dirt road, its rough edges sending shockwaves through the car. The shadows hesitated for a fleeting moment, then surged back, angry and relentless. Tearing through the trees, branches scratched against the windshield like skeletal fingers trying to peel away their escape. Anna's heart sank as the path narrowed, the darkness closing in on either side as if conspiring to swallow them whole. "Don't look back, baby. Keep your eyes on me," Anna urged, the strain in her throat palpable. She could barely hear Mia's whimpers over the roar of the engine and the haunting whispers that danced just beyond the edges of sanity. Suddenly, a flicker of light pierced through the canopy, a clearing. With renewed hope, Anna pushed down harder on the accelerator, praying for a chance to escape this nightmare. But the moment of respite was short-lived. The moment the light flooded the car, she realized it wasn't just sunlight breaking through. It was the gleam of an abandoned building, stark and forbidding. Heart racing, Anna skidded to a stop, dust flying, and fear seeping in again. The building loomed, dark windows like eyes peering into their very souls. She had a choice to make: stay in the car and face the shadows that clung to them, or take her chances with whatever danger lurked inside. Would the building offer some salvation from the darkness chasing after them, or was it merely another trap? "Mama?" Mia's voice trembled, hinting at the uncertainty they both felt. Anna stared at the structure, dread coiling tighter. Could the answers lie within, or was it only a way to plunge deeper into darkness? As the shadows began to close in, she realized she had to decide quickly. What could possibly await them inside those walls? Would they find safety or face an even darker horror? With her heart hammering wildly in her chest, Anna glanced from the building to the shadows creeping closer. The whispers reached a fever pitch, each word a claw tearing at her sanity. "Join us, be free." No. She shook her head violently, pushing thoughts of surrender away. There was only one option. "Come on, sweetheart." Anna grabbed Mia's hand and bolted from the car, the cold bite of terror urging them forward. The heavy door slammed shut behind them, a final barrier against the pursuing darkness. They darted toward the ominous structure, the air electric with dread. The door creaked open with a groan that sounded like a warning. Inside was a suffocating darkness, but they had no choice. The shadows continued their relentless advance, and each step they took felt like escaping an eternity just to jump into another nightmare. Once inside, the musty smell of decay struck Anna hard, the walls adorned with peeling paint reminiscent of lost dreams. "Stay close to me," she whispered hurriedly, pulling Mia against her side. The faintest sliver of light trickled through broken windows, illuminating dust motes dancing like lost souls. With every heartbeat, the shadows outside pressed against the walls, trying to get in, hungry and furious. "They'll find us," Mia whimpered. "No, they want tea," Anna snapped, more forcefully than she intended. She wasn't sure if she was reassuring Mia or herself. The echoes of her own words bounced back, reverberating wildly, as if taunting their resolve. Determined to keep moving, Anna led her daughter deeper into the gloom. Each room they passed was a portal to another world, abandoned furniture, strewn debris, but no signs of life. Suddenly, a rustling sound sent chills racing up Anna's spine. "Mama?" She pressed Mia closer. The rustling grew louder, emerging from a doorway ahead. A figure stepped into the weak light, but before Anna could process the sight, it darted back into the shadows, leaving only the lingering heavy silence. "Mia, stay behind me," she said sharply, scanning the hallway. "Where did it go?" Mia's trembling voice tugged at something deep within Anna, an urge to protect, but the need to move forward was stronger. "Let us keep going." Anna gritted her teeth. She had to find a way out, had to face whatever lurked in this dread-filled space. As they stepped into the next room, Mia gasped, and Anna froze. The walls were lined with photographs, dozens, maybe hundreds, faces reflecting joy, love, and life, yet something felt terribly wrong. The smiles of the people bore a shadow of despair that sent a shudder through Anna's bones. "Are these people?" Mia asked, eyes wide. "Yes, but something is very wrong." Anna felt a surge of anxiety. Who were they, and why were their images trapped in this cursed building? Suddenly, the lights flickered. The whispers surged again, swelling into a morbid melody, laced with an anguish that transcended space and time. "Come back, stay with us." Anna's pulse quickened as the whispers turned into frantic laughter, a cacophony of disembodied voices that echoed off the walls, turning her insides to ice. "Mama!" Mia clutched her bear tighter. The room felt alive, walls pressing in like a vice. Anna tore her gaze from the portraits, knowing they didn't have much time. "We have to find another exit." Yet, even as she turned to lead Mia back, the door they entered through now stood as an impenetrable barrier, vanishing into nothingness, swallowed by the encroaching darkness. "What?" "No!" Panic seized Anna as she tugged at the handle, willing it to yield. "It can't be locked." "Mama!" Mia's voice trembled, the girl's small form shrinking against her. Anna spun around, scanning for any other way out, and when she saw it, a flickering light at the far end of the room, illuminating an ancient stairway descending into the depths below. "Over there!" she shouted, uncertain what awaited them. As they ran for the staircase, the shadows surged forward, desperate to ensnare them. The voices crescendoed, a howl of darkness beckoning them to surrender. Anna felt the weight of despair press against her, but she wouldn't give up. Not now. Not ever. "Mama, hurry!" Footsteps thundered behind them, chasing. Hunting. She plunged into the abyss of the stairway, dragging Mia with her. The darkness welcomed them, and that flickering light behind them vanished. What secrets waited in the depths? Would they find safety or fall deeper into the madness? Anna's heart raced as she prepared for an unimaginable descent into terror. The air thickened as they descended, the faint light now flickering more rapidly, almost as if it were warning them. The darkness wrapped around them, cold and suffocating, every step deeper feeling like a plunge into an endless void. Anna gripped Mia's hand tighter, her palms sweaty, and heart pounding, echoing in the silence around them. "Do you think they're coming?" Mia whispered, her voice a tremor, haunting in the empty space. Anna didn't answer. Every instinct screamed at her to turn back, but there was no choice now. They were past the point of no return. Was that a whisper she heard? Or were her nerves just playing tricks on her? Suddenly, the light flickered one last time, illuminating what lay at the bottom of the staircase, an expansive room, glowing faintly as if lit by ghostly lanterns. The walls were etched with symbols Anna couldn't decipher, twisting and curling like writhing serpents. But it was the sight in the center that froze her in place. A large, intricately carved stone altar stood there, surrounded by a ring of those same shadowy figures she had seen outside. They danced, swaying with an unnatural grace, their faces a blur, as if forever etched just beyond recognition. "Mama! What is that?" Anna shook her head, a flood of dread coursing through her. "I don't know." As they stepped closer, the air grew heavier, a palpable charge in the atmosphere. The whispers morphed into soft, pleading calls. "Come closer, join us," the cries wrapped around Anna's mind, a sickening invitation laced with despair. "Don't listen, Mia!" Anna hissed, dragging her daughter back as the shadows advanced toward them, their forms elongating and twisting grotesquely. "Mama!" Mia's eyes widened, a mix of fear and confusion battling for dominance. "They're just like us, no!" The sharpness of Anna's voice cut through the trance. She turned away from the altar, forcing herself to focus. "They couldn't stay here. We have to find another exit." But the room began to shift. The walls, once solid, seemed to ripple like water, closing in. The shadows encircled them, whispering their terrible promises, fingers outstretched as though begging for them to join. Anna felt her resolve slip, the urge to give in creeping into her thoughts. "Mama, I feel funny like they want me," Mia murmured, her little face pale, her eyes clouding as she stared at the dancing figures. "No!" Anna shouted, desperately shaking Mia's shoulders. "You have to fight. You have to come with me." But Mia's gaze drifted back to the altar. It was as if the sinister lure of the place was wrapping around her mind. Anna felt a rush of panic as she realized she was losing her daughter to this madness. Desperation clawed at her throat. "Mia! Look at me!" Anna commanded, but it was like talking to a wall. Her breath came quick and shallow. "We need to get out of here." With all her might, she yanked Mia away from the altar. Yet, a spectral figure, now fully formed, surged forward, emerging from the shadows like a nightmare made flesh. "You cannot leave," it hissed, its voice a chilling echo of humanity, yet entirely alien. A face twisted into a cruel smile, rotten teeth glinting in the bluish light. "You belong to us." Anna's heart faltered, but she could not let this creature win. "Run, Mia!" she screamed. Before they could escape, the shadows erupted, hands grasping, pulling at her limbs, the air thick with cries of joy and sorrow mingled. "Mama!" Mia wailed, clawing toward Anna, who felt herself being dragged back, lost to the darkness swirling around them. They were caught, and snared, but Anna thought only of her daughter. She kicked, swung her arms, determined to fight her way free. "Not today!" she shouted defiantly at the gathering darkness as the light flickered again, illuminating a crack in the far wall and escape. But were they too late? The shadows roared, and all Anna could focus on was the small hand grasped within her own. With sheer willpower, she forced herself toward that crack, the shadows shrieking in agony, and just as they collided with the wall, the passage yawned wide, a luminescent promise of freedom. As they plunged forward, darkness clawed at their backs. Would they escape or be consumed? The chase hadn't ended, it transformed, and now another horror lay in wait beyond the wall. Anna could feel it, something different, something worse. What awaited them in that new light? Would they find sanctuary or another nightmare? She could only hope the darkness had finally been left behind. As they stumbled through the crack, the world shifted again. A blinding light flooded over them, causing Anna to shield her eyes. She heard Mia gasp, and for a second, it felt like they were ascending into a safe haven. But when she opened her eyes, the glow turned chilling. They emerged into a long, narrow hallway marked with deep gouges in the earth, as if something had clawed its way through. The walls reflected a sickly green hue, pulsing slightly as if they were alive. The air hung thick with the smell of damp earth and decay. Dark shadows flickered at the edges of the light, whispering hints of something waiting just out of sight, something that had not yet forgotten them. "Mama, I don't like it here," Mia murmured, gripping Anna's hand tighter, her small body trembling. "Me neither," Anna admitted, heart racing. They could still hear the echoes of the shadows' cries behind them, haunting and cold, promising that their captivity was far from over. Why can't we find a door? Mia whimpered, peering into the insatiable darkness. We will. Just keep moving, Anna urged, willing her legs to push through the fear that anchored her to the ground. The space felt confined, oppressive, drawing her thoughts back to the altar, to the figures that had almost taken Mia from her. They had escaped one horror, but this felt endless. Suddenly, a soft thump reverberated from the corridor's end, making Anna freeze. It sounded alive, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. A bump followed, then a scraping noise, as though something scratched at the walls in a frantic attempt to move closer. Mama, Mia whispered, wide eyes darting toward the sound. Anna hushed, hoping to calm the unease that swelled in her chest. We have to stay quiet. They pressed forward, the light from their escape flickering ominously behind them, and as they approached the corridor's end, a figure emerged. Tall and skeletal, it looked haggard, skin pulled tight over bones like old parchment wrapped around a rotting skeleton. Its eyes were deep, hollow caverns, and it raised a long, gnarled finger toward them, pointing no, beckoning. Join us, it croaked from lips split and torn, a voice that echoed in Anna's mind like a sinister melody from a long-forgotten lullaby. No! She backed away, pulling Mia close. We have to go. But then Mia stepped forward, her small feet moving away from Anna's grasp. It wants me, Mama, she said dreamily, her gaze suddenly distant, entranced by the creature's hollow allure. Stop! Anna lunged and grabbed Mia's arm just before she could step into the creature's reach. The moment her fingers latched on, a jolt of electric fear coursed through her body, as if she could feel the creature's complete and utter malevolence. Mama, let me go! Mia cried, straining against her mother's grip, eyes full of confusion and longing. It's safe. No, it's not! Anna shouted, urgency clawing at her throat. She could almost hear the whispers intensifying, a chorus of deceived souls urging them to join. Just then, the walls trembled. Anna felt the entire passage shift, the vibrations deep and threatening. We need to run, she said, terror spilling into her voice. Now! With a mighty pull, she yanked Mia away from the figure, who screeched with a piercing wail that echoed off the walls, shaking their very bones. The air grew dense and heavy, filled with the stench of despair and decay. They darted past the creature, now choking in fury, as Anna bolted down the hall, taking turns and dodging gaping holes that threatened to swallow them whole. But the whispers followed, frantic and desperate, as though time was ebbing away and they were the last hope. Mama, it's coming! Mia's voice trembled behind her as they reached another fork in the path. Fear darkened Anna's vision, every choice weighing down on her like a stone. She paused, panting heavily, searching for any sign of safety. Would they find sanctuary? Or had they just entered a greater maze of fate? In the distance, a faint sound echoed like the chime of a distant bell. Was it salvation or doom? Which way, Mama? Mia whimpered. Glancing back toward the creature, which had begun to writhe, its wrinkled body convulsing as if it had harnessed the grotesque energy of something ancient and horrifying. Anna slumped against the wall, heart racing, fingers trembling. She could feel an awful weight of choice pressing down on her, as dread coiled tighter around her throat. Please, not again, but they had to go. No more hesitation. There was no turning back now. With a primal instinct ignited within her, Anna pointed down the left corridor, barely able to believe it herself. That way. What awaited them beyond the next turn? Would they escape the thrumming darkness or plunge deeper into terror? The unknown beckoned, and they had no other choice but to answer. Anna's legs trembled as she propelled herself and Mia down the left corridor. Darkness clawed at their heels, a righteous fury echoing with each solitary step they took into the unknown. The walls pressed in like a vice, shadows dancing wildly, whispering promises of despair. The air thickened with dread, pushing against her chest, making every breath feel like a labor. Mama, I don't want to be here! Mia cried, her little voice fragile amidst the encroaching horror. Neither do I, baby, Anna replied, keeping her voice low yet steady, fighting against the panic that threatened to drown her. But we have to keep going. We can't let it catch us. Suddenly, a loud crash reverberated behind them, causing Anna's heart to freeze. The creature had broken free, its wails echoed like a sinister warning. She could almost feel the darkness coiling around them, wanting to pull them back into its grasp. Faster! She urged, gripping Mia's hand tighter, digging her nails into the warmth of her daughter's palm. They sprinted down the corridor as it twisted and turned, each moment stretching like eternity. Time warped, light flickered above, and Anna felt as though reality was unraveling before her very eyes. Flickering shadows danced like malignant spirits, creating a macabre ballet above their heads. Then, without warning, the corridor opened into a vast chamber illuminated by eerie, flickering light. Anna halted, scanning the area. Was this the end of their torment, or the beginning of another horror? The chamber was crowded with strange artifacts, remnants of lives long lost scattered across the floor. Broken toys lay silent against cracked walls, memories of laughter forever trapped beneath debris. "Mama, I see them!" Mia pointed toward the shadows at the chamber's edge, figures emerging with familiar contours, the same faces that had haunted them, twisted in sorrow and rage. "Stay close to me," Anna commanded, instinctively positioning herself between Mia and the advancing shapes. The figures shifted, transforming into distorted caricatures of joy, yet their eyes glinted with an insidious hunger. "Mama, they look sad, they need help," Mia whispered, her innocent heart tugging at the threads of pure terror surrounding them. "No, honey. They want to trick us. We have to leave. Now." Anna felt the heat of urgency gripping her throat as shadows thickened, swirling around them like dark storm clouds. But just as she turned to retrace their steps, the exit vanished behind them, replaced by a terrifying void, swallowing every sense of hope. "No! No!" Anna yelled, clawing at the darkness as it pulsed and writhed. "Mama, please!" Mia clutched her little bear, tears welling in her eyes. "I'm scared." I know. Anna bent down, forcing herself to put together a plan while battling her own rising fear. Her heart raced with the realization that they couldn't stay helpless. They had to confront this nightmare head-on. "Mia, listen to me," Anna said, squaring her shoulders as she faced the distressing figures, now shifting closer, a blend of haunting sorrow and desperate hunger. "We're not afraid of you. You don't have power over us." The figures stopped, eyes wide with surprise, allowing Anna a fragile moment of clarity. Was this it? Could she break their grip by rejecting their power? As if sensing a crack forming in their facade, the shadows surged forward, voices melding into a cacophony of despair. "You will join us. It's only a matter of time." "No! We want tea!" Anna screamed, summoning every ounce of strength. "Mia, follow me." With renewed determination, Anna dashed toward the center of the room, where an altar stood, untouched by the growing madness that surrounded them. She gripped Mia's hand tighter, her resolve solidifying into a shield against the darkness. "We can use this." The altar pulsed with energy, flickering light spreading out like a radiating shield. "Stand with me," Anna urged, heart pounding furiously. As they placed their hands on the cold stone, a wave of warmth surged through them, igniting a spark of defiance. "Join us!" the figures hissed, reaching with skeletal hands, voices pleading yet threatening. "No! I take back my power. I choose love and light," Anna shouted, her voice resonating against the shadows. With that declaration, energy exploded from the altar, engulfing the figures in light. They recoiled, horrifying features melting into expressions of anguish. "No! You can't escape!" they howled as the light repelled them. "Mama!" Mia cried, shielded by the protective glow surrounding them. "Look!" With wide eyes, Anna watched as the shadows disintegrated into nothingness, cries of despair twisting into whispers that faded into oblivion. As the light settled, the chamber began shifting, transforming, until finally revealing a shimmering passageway. A tunnel leading toward a brightness that felt like home. Anna exhaled deeply, relief washing over her as she took Mia's hand, pulling her to the light. "Let us go, sweetheart," Anna whispered, guiding Mia through the unknown. As they stepped forward, they emerged into the night air, the shadows dissipating behind them, becoming mere echoes of the horror they had endured together. Crickets chirped in the distance, and the stars blinked down like old friends welcoming them back. The world felt alive again. It was dark but safe. "Mama, we did it!" Mia exclaimed, her voice filled with wonder. Anna knelt, pulling her daughter into an embrace. "Yes, we did. We're safe." But as they stood together, hearts still racing, Anna felt a shiver of unease creep over her. She knew the darkness still lingered somewhere, a silent specter watching, waiting. "We need to tell people, share what happened," she murmured, knowing this fight was not just theirs. Mia nodded, clinging tight. "We will. Together." They walked into the soft night, facing the challenges ahead as a team. The terror of their night lay behind them, yet Anna's heart swelled as she fostered a newfound strength. Love would always conquer darkness, and together, they would face whatever lay ahead. And so, as the dawn broke on a new day, a promise was made never to forget what had nearly taken them but to embrace the light instead. Now, to all of you watching, if this story moved you, you need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm and help keep the stories coming. Come on, flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about this epic conclusion. Don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this heart-stopping end. Your support means everything. You are crucial in keeping the light alive,